That night, my son shouted in the middle of a packed restaurant, "My wife does not lie," and he pointed at me, his own mother, as if I were a thief. $800. That was the figure that destroyed everything I thought I knew about my family. But what nobody imagined is that those security cameras not only showed who took the money, but something much worse. My name is Emily Miller. I am 58 years old. All my life, I believed that a mother's love was enough to sustain anything. I believed that being good, being patient, being silent when I should have spoken would make me worthy of respect. That night, I learned that no, it does not. Everything began 3 weeks earlier. Michael, my only son, called me with that excited voice I had not heard since he was a child. "Mom, Jessica, and I want to invite you to dinner, a nice place, to celebrate. Celebrate what honey I asked, feeling that warm joy that only a mother knows. I will tell you there. Just dress elegantly. You are going to be surprised." I hung up with my heart swollen with hope. Maybe a baby. Maybe a promotion. Maybe, just maybe, Jessica would finally see me as part of the family and not like that uncomfortable shadow that appears at Christmas. That afternoon, I got ready like I had not done in years. I put on the navy blue dress I bought for Michael's wedding, the one I never wore again because it reminded me how alone I felt that day sitting in the front row while Jessica ignored me in every photograph. I did my makeup carefully. I put on perfume. I wanted to look good. I wanted my son to feel proud of me. How foolish I was. The restaurant was called the Golden Terrace. It was one of those places with white tablecloths, crystal glasses, and waiters who speak in low voices as if every word were a secret. When I arrived, Michael was already at the table alone. "Where is Jessica?" I asked, kissing him on the cheek. "She is on her way, Mom. She had to stop for something." I sat across from him, nervous, playing with the cloth napkin in my hands. Michael was different, more serious, more adult. He was no longer that boy who hugged me every night before sleeping. Now he was a man who looked at his phone every 30 seconds, expecting a message from her. "Is everything okay, son? Yes, Mom. Everything is perfect." But his smile did not reach his eyes. Jessica arrived 20 minutes late. She entered with that air she always had, as if the whole world should stop to admire her. Perfect blonde hair, tight white dress, designer bag hanging from her arm like a trophy. Sorry, she said without sounding sorry at all. Traffic was impossible. She sat next to Michael. She gave him a quick kiss on the lips. And then she looked at me. "Hello, Emily." Not even mother-in-law, not even Mrs. Miller, just my name. Cold, distant. "Hello, Jessica. You look very nice." She smiled but did not answer. The dinner went on in a strange tension. Michael tried to animate the conversation, talking about work, about a trip they were planning, about how nice the place was. I nodded. I smiled. I asked what was necessary. Jessica barely looked at me. At one moment, she got up to go to the bathroom. She left her bag on the chair open. I did not touch it. I did not even look at it. But when she returned, everything changed. She sat down. She took her bag. She checked it quickly, and her face transformed. "Where is it?" she murmured, rummaging through her things. "What is wrong?" Michael asked. "My money. There was $800 in here, in cash. I put them away this morning." My heart stopped. "Are you sure Michael checked under the table, the floor, around the chair?" "Of course, I am sure, Michael. $800 do not disappear alone." And then Jessica looked at me, directly, fixedly, as if she could see inside me. "Emily, did you see something?" The question fell like a stone in still water. Me know Jessica. "I did not touch anything. It is just very strange," she said with that soft voice she used when she wanted to sound reasonable. Nobody else came near the table while I was gone. The silence became heavy. Michael looked at me. Just a second, but it was enough. He was thinking it too. "Mom," his voice was hesitant, uncomfortable. "Are you sure you did not see anything? I felt the floor opening under my feet." "Michael, I did not touch that bag. I swear to you." Jessica sighed, putting a hand to her forehead. I do not want to accuse anyone, but this is very weird. Maybe you dropped it in the car, I suggested desperately. Or at your house. Sometimes we put things away and forget where. Emily, I know perfectly well where I put my money. Her tone was cutting now, accusatory. Michael shifted in his chair. Jessica, please, what, Michael? Do you want me to pretend this did not happen? People at nearby tables started to turn around. I felt the blood pounding in my temples. I did not steal anything, I said with a broken voice. I am your mother-in-law. I am the mother of your husband. How can you think that of me? Jessica did not answer. She just looked at Michael, and he, my God, he looked down. Then Jessica raised her voice. I want to check your purse. The whole restaurant went silent. What? I whispered, incredulous. If you have nothing to hide, let me check your purse. Tears began to burn my eyes. Jessica, this is humiliating. Then give me back my money. And that was when Michael exploded. He stood up, his face red, his voice strong, clear, devastating. My wife does not lie. The whole restaurant looked at us. He pointed at me with his finger. At me, his mother. If she says money is missing, it is because it is missing. And here, the only one who could have taken it was you. I do not remember crying. I do not remember breathing. I only remember the weight of all those stares, and Michael's hand trembling while he pointed at my purse. Open it, Mom, please. I opened my purse. Jessica stuck her hand in without asking for permission. Nothing obviously because I had not taken anything, but the humiliation was already done. Jessica sat down again, faking tranquility. Well, maybe I was wrong about the place. Sorry, Emily. But her apology sounded hollow fake. Michael did not even look at me. I stood up, my legs shaking. I am going home. Mom, wait. No, Michael. You have done enough. I walked out of that restaurant with my head high but my soul destroyed. And while I walked toward the street, I heard something that froze my blood. One of the waiters, a young man with dark hair, whispered something to the manager while pointing at me. I did not manage to hear what he said, but his eyes followed me until I disappeared into the night. That night, I did not sleep. I stayed sitting in the living room of my house with the lights off, looking at the photograph that was always on the mantelpiece. Michael was 5 years old in that image. He was sitting on my lap with his blue striped shirt and that huge smile that lit up everything. I was hugging him, and he looked at me as if I were his whole world. At what moment did everything change? At what moment did I stop being his refuge and became someone to distrust? Michael was born when I was 30. His father, David, died 2 years later in a traffic accident. A truck ran a red light. 1 second of distraction and my entire life collapsed. I was left alone with a small child, without a steady job, without close family who could help me. But I never gave up. I worked cleaning houses, ironing other people's clothes, selling homemade food on weekends at the market. Every dollar I earned was for Michael, for his school, for his shoes, so that he would never feel he lacked anything. I never bought him expensive toys, but there was always food on the table. There was always a hug when he cried. There was always a mother who waited for him awake no matter the time. Michael grew up being a noble boy, quiet, studious, obedient. When he turned 15, he started helping me. He worked Saturdays at a grocery store and gave me half his salary without me asking. Mom, this is for you, so you do not get so tired. I cried every time he did it. No, my son, that money is yours. Save it for your things. You never save anything for yourself, Mom. Now it is my turn to take care of you. Those words. I kept them like a treasure because they meant I had done well. That, despite everything, I had raised a good man. Michael graduated from high school with honors. I was in the front row with an old but clean dress, clapping until my hands hurt. Later, he studied administration at a public university. He worked by day and studied by night. I kept cleaning houses. But it was not so hard anymore because I saw him happy, because I saw him building a future. And when he finished his degree, he got a job at a construction company. It was not a high position, but it was stable. Well paid. Mom, you do not have to work anymore. He told me one day with that seriousness he had learned as an adult. What are you saying, son? That it is time for you to rest. I will take care of everything. He hugged me, and I cried like I had not cried since David's death, because I felt that all the sacrifice had been worth it, because my son was a good man. But then Jessica arrived. He met her at a work conference. She worked in sales for a supplier. Michael introduced me to her 3 months later. I remember they arrived one Sunday afternoon. I was making pot roast with my hands full of flour and my apron stained. I heard the doorbell. I opened the door, and there she was, tall, thin, blonde, with impeccable makeup and a perfume that smelled expensive. Mom, this is Jessica, my girlfriend. Jessica extended her hand but did not smile. Nice to meet you, Ma'am Emily, I told her, wiping my hands on my apron before shaking hers. Come in, please. I was making dinner. She entered looking at everything with those eyes that seemed to be evaluating every corner of my house. The old walls, the worn furniture, the small TV, the faded curtains. She said nothing, but I felt it. The contempt. During that meal, I tried to converse with her. Where are you from, honey? From the north. From Chicago. Ah, how nice in your family. My dad has an import company. My mom is an interior decorator. Every answer was short cold. Michael, on the other hand, did not stop looking at her as if she were a miracle. Jessica studied at a private university. Mom, she speaks perfect Spanish too and has a very good position in her company. That is great, son. What pride I served the pot roast. Jessica barely tasted 2 bites. Do you not like it? I asked, worried. It is just that I am not used to eating so heavy. I watch my diet a lot. Michael laughed, nervous. It is just that Mom cooks like in the old days, Jessica. Very homemade, very traditional. She smiled, but it was a polite smile, not genuine. And I felt small, as if my food were not enough, as if my house were not enough, as if I were not enough. After that day, Michael started to change. At first, it was small things. He stopped coming on Sundays. He said he had plans with Jessica. He stopped calling me every night. Now it was I who called him, and he was always in a hurry. He stopped inviting me out. Before we went to the movies together to the park. Now he did everything with her. I tried not to feel displaced. I told myself it was normal, that he was in love, that I should give him space. But it hurt. It hurt to see him pull away little by little. As if I were a chapter he had already finished reading. A year later, he told me they were getting married. Mom, Jessica, and I want to do it in December. A small wedding, but nice. What happiness, son. Do you need help with anything? No, Mom. Jessica's family is going to organize everything. They have more experience with that type of event. I swallowed the humiliation. It is okay. I just want to see you happy, and I am Mom. Jessica is the best thing that has happened to me. I smiled, but inside something broke. The wedding was in an elegant garden with white flowers, hanging lights, live music. I arrived alone, dressed in the only formal dress I had, the navy blue one I had bought with so much effort. Jessica's family occupied almost the entire celebration. Her uncles, cousins, friends, all well dressed, talking about trips and business. I sat at a table in the back next to 2 of Michael's co-workers I barely knew. Nobody asked me if I needed anything. Nobody included me in the family photos. When Michael and Jessica danced their waltz, I watched them from afar with silent tears that nobody noticed. And when the party ended, Michael said goodbye to me with a quick hug. Thanks for coming, Mom. I will always be here for you, my son. He smiled, but it was no longer the same smile. He was no longer my boy. He was Jessica's husband. The first months after the wedding, I barely heard from him. He called once in a while, always in a hurry, always saying they were busy. Jessica and I are fixing up the apartment, Mom. Ah, that is nice. Can I go see it? Sure, Mom. When it is ready, we will let you know. But they never let me know. One day, I happened to pass near where they lived. I knocked on the door. Jessica opened in a silk robe and a surprised face. "Emily." "I did not know you were coming. I did not want to bother. I was just passing by and wanted to say hello. She did not invite me in. Michael is not here. He went to a meeting." "Ah, well. Can I come in a moment? I brought some cookies I made." Jessica looked at the cookies as if they were something contaminated. "It is just that I am in the middle of a work video call. Maybe another day, Emily." And she closed the door. I stayed there standing, with my bag of cookies in my hands, feeling like a stranger, like someone who was no longer welcome. Months passed. Michael came to see me less and less, always with excuses, always in a hurry, and when he came, he was no longer the same. He talked about things I did not understand, investments, projects, trips they took. He no longer asked how I was. He no longer stayed to eat. He no longer hugged me like before. I tried not to complain. I told myself, that is life, that children grow up and form their own families. But deep down, I knew it was not just that. Jessica was pushing him away from me, little by little, with subtlety, like someone closing a door without making noise, until that invitation arrived, that call where Michael told me he wanted to invite me to dinner, a nice place, to celebrate. And my God, I thought that maybe things were going to change, that maybe I was going to get my son back. How wrong I was. That night, after the humiliation at the restaurant, I stayed looking at that photograph. Michael, at 5 years old, hugging me, smiling. And I wondered if that child still existed, or if Jessica had erased him completely. The days after that dinner were the longest of my life. I did not hear from Michael again. Not a call, not a message, not even an apology. Nothing. I waited. I do not know what I waited for. Maybe for him to knock on my door, for him to say, "Mom, I am sorry," for him to acknowledge that he had hurt me. But the silence was worse than any word, because silence means oblivion, and I did not want to be forgotten by my own son. A week later, I decided to call him. I dialed his number with trembling hands, rehearsing mentally what I would say. "My son, how are you? I just wanted to hear from you." It rang once, twice, 3 times. I thought he was not going to answer, but on the 5th ring I heard his voice. "Mom, Michael, son." "How are you, Silence?" "Good, Mom. Do you need something?" His tone was cold, distant, as if I were an obligation, a procedure he had to fulfill. "No, my son. I just wanted to know about you. We haven't spoken in days. I have been busy, a lot of work, I understand. And Jessica, how is she?" Another silence. "Good. Also busy. Michael." I took a deep breath, gathering courage. "About what happened at the restaurant. Mom, that already happened. Better not to talk about that. But I need you to know that I did not—" "Mom, Jessica already forgot it. You should too." I felt a knot in my throat. "And you, Michael." "Did you forget it too?" "Mom, do not start. I am not starting anything, my son. I just want to know if you still trust me." "Of course I trust you." But his voice had no conviction. It was an automatic response. Empty. "Then why haven't you come to see me?" "Because I have been busy, Mom. I already told you." "Michael, before you always made time for me, even if it was half an hour. Even if it was a quick call. Things change, Mom. I am no longer a child." His words fell on me like stones. "I know, my son. But that does not mean you have to forget your mother. I am not forgetting you. I am just living my life." And that was when I understood. Living his life meant living without me. I hung up the phone with a broken heart. I sat on the couch staring into the void, wondering what I had done wrong. Had I been too present, too insistent, or simply did I no longer fit in the life Michael was building with Jessica? 2 weeks later, I decided to go to their apartment. I did not warn them. I did not call before. I just took my purse, prepared a casserole he always liked, and I went. I needed to see him. I needed to look him in the eyes and feel that he was still my son. When I arrived at the building, the security guard stopped me. "Good afternoon. Which apartment are you going to 50? I am Mr. Michael Miller's mom. Do you have an appointment?" "Appointment? He is my son. I do not need an appointment." The guard checked his list. "I have instructions that only authorized people can go up." "I am his mother," I said firmly. "Of course I am authorized." He hesitated. Then he picked up the phone and dialed. "Mr. Michael, your mom is here. Do I give her access?" I waited. The guard listened, nodded, hung up. "You can go up." But something in his look made me feel uncomfortable, as if Michael had hesitated before saying yes. I went up to the 5th floor with my heart in my throat. I knocked on the door. Michael opened. He was in sweatpants and a t-shirt, barefoot. He looked tired. "Mom, I did not know you were coming. I know my son. Sorry, but I brought you dinner. I thought you would like it." He looked at the container in my hands but did not smile. "Thanks, Mom, but we were just leaving. Jessica has an appointment with the dentist and I am going to accompany her." "Ah, well, I won't be long." "I just wanted to see you for a moment. We really are in a hurry." Jessica appeared behind him, already dressed up, with her hair down and a casual but elegant dress. "Hello, Emily," she said with that smile that never reached her eyes. What a surprise. "Hello, Jessica. Sorry for coming without warning. I just brought this for Michael." "How nice. But we do have to go now. Traffic is horrible." Michael took the container from my hands. "Thanks, Mom. I will call you later." "Okay." "Yes, my son. Have a good time." He gave me a quick kiss on the cheek and closed the door. I stayed there standing in the empty hallway, feeling that I had just been dismissed, as if I were a saleswoman, a stranger. I went down from the building with tears falling uncontrollably. Why did Jessica always have an excuse to push me away? Why did Michael no longer defend me? And worst of all, why did I keep allowing it? 3 more weeks passed. In that time, I tried to occupy my mind. I cleaned the house. I cooked. I watched television. But nothing filled the void I felt. One day, while I was at the market buying vegetables, I saw an older lady with her daughter. They were laughing, walking arm in arm. They looked happy, and I burst into tears right there, between the tomato and cilantro stands. The lady attending the stand saw me. "Are you okay, ma'am?" Yes. Excuse me. It is just that." I remembered something. She gave me a bunch of cilantro. "Here so your day goes better." I thanked her and left quickly, before anyone else noticed my shame. That night, I received a message from Michael. A text message, not even a call. "Mom, Jessica and I are going to Miami next weekend. We will let you know when we return." He did not ask how I was. He did not tell me he missed me. He just told me they were going. Like someone saying they are going to the supermarket. Something inside me broke that night. It was not a scream. It was not a crisis. It was something more silent. It was realizing that my son no longer needed me, and worse yet, that maybe he no longer loved me. During those days, I started to review every detail, every conversation, every gesture. Since when did Jessica start pushing him away from me? And then I remembered. I remembered that time months ago when Michael came to see me alone. It was a Saturday morning. I prepared coffee and sweet bread. We were talking peacefully when his phone rang. It was Jessica. He answered, "Yes, my love." I did not hear what she said, but I saw how Michael's face changed. "Yes, I am with my mom. No, I did not tell you because it was improvised. Yes, I know. No, I won't be long." He hung up. "Is everything okay, my son?" "Yes, Mom. It is just that Jessica needs me to help her with some things at the house. But you just arrived." "I know, Mom. But I promised I was going to be with her today." He left 15 minutes later, and I stayed with the cold coffee and the sweet bread untouched. At that moment, I did not see it. But now I understood. Jessica did not want Michael to spend time with me, and he preferred to please her than to stay with me. I also remembered another time. It was my birthday. Last year. Michael called me in the morning. "Happy birthday, Mom. What are you going to do today?" "Nothing special, my son. Maybe I will make myself something nice to eat. Do you want us to come see you tonight? Really, I would love that." "Let me confirm with Jessica, and I will let you know." I waited all afternoon. At 6 in the evening, I got a message. "Mom, I am sorry. Jessica is not feeling well. Better leave it for another day. I love you." They did not come. I spent my birthday alone, with a candle on a cupcake I bought at the corner store, and I cried while singing happy birthday to myself. Now, sitting in my living room with those memories weighing on my chest, I realized something terrible. Jessica was not just keeping Michael away from me. She was training him to forget me, and the worst thing was that it was working. 2 days later, I received another call from Michael. "Mom, we are back from Miami. That is good, my son. Did you have a nice time?" "Yes, very nice." "Hey, Mom, Jessica, and I want to invite you to dinner again, to make up for the restaurant thing." My heart skipped a beat. "Really, yes. Jessica said it would be good, that we start over. I would love that, my son." "When? On Friday. We will send you the address of the place." I hung up with a mix of hope and fear. Maybe things could improve. Maybe Jessica had reflected. Maybe Michael had remembered who I was. Maybe there was still a chance. How naive I was. Friday arrived. I got ready again. I put on the same navy blue dress, the same perfume. I wanted to show them that I was still the same, that I held no grudge, that I just wanted my family to be okay. I arrived at the restaurant 15 minutes early. It was a different place, more modest. Less elegant than the Golden Terrace. I thought that was a good sign, that maybe they wanted something more intimate, more sincere. But when I entered, something did not feel right. Jessica was sitting alone at a table. Michael had not arrived. "Hello, Emily," she said, smiling. "Sit down. Michael is on his way. He had to resolve something at work." I sat across from her, nervous. "Thanks for the invitation, Jessica. You are welcome. I think it was necessary. The other day was uncomfortable." Yes, it was. She played with her water glass, staring at me. "Emily, I want us to speak honestly." "Of course. I feel there is something between us that does not work, and I think it is important to clarify it." My heart started beating faster. "What do you mean?" Jessica sighed, as if it cost her work to say it. "Look, I know you love Michael, and I know you were a good mother to him, but now he has a life with me, and I think you have to understand that." I understand Jessica. I have never wanted to interfere, but you do, Emily. Without realizing it, you do. How you appear without warning. You call him all the time. You always expect him to be available for you, and that affects us. I felt the air escaping me. I just want to see my son. I do not think it is a bad thing. It is not bad. But it is. Too much. Michael needs space. He needs to build his own family. And you have to let him go. Tears started burning my eyes. "Let him go, Jessica. He is my son. He is the only thing I have. And that is the problem, Emily, that he is the only thing you have. That puts enormous pressure on him." I stayed silent, because deep down I knew she was right. But that did not make it hurt less. At that moment, Michael arrived. Sorry, traffic was impossible. He sat next to Jessica and gave her a kiss on the cheek. "What were you talking about?" "Nothing, my love. We were just chatting." Jessica looked at me, and in her eyes I saw a silent warning. "Do not tell him anything." I nodded, swallowing everything I had just felt, and the dinner went on in a tension that only I seemed to notice. After that dinner, something changed in me. It was not a visible change. I did not stop loving Michael. I did not stop wanting to see him, but I started to be afraid of calling him too much, afraid of visiting without warning, afraid of being too much. Jessica's words remained engraved in my mind like a sentence. You have to let him go, and I tried to do it. I tried to be less present, less needy, less mother, as if that were possible. I stopped calling Michael every day. Now I waited for him to call me, and when he did, I pretended to be busy. I pretended I had a life full of things. Ah, my son, good that you call. I was just leaving. Where are you going, Mom? Ah, to the store, to buy some things. I lied. I was not going anywhere. I was sitting in my living room, looking at the phone, waiting for his call. But I did not want him to know that. I did not want Jessica to be right. I did not want to be that mother who had nothing else in life but her son, even if it was true. I also stopped cooking for him. Before every week, I prepared something for him, his favorite casserole, pot roast, soup when I knew he was tired. But now I thought, what if Jessica thinks I am being invasive? What if she thinks I want to make her look bad, so I stopped doing it? And Michael never asked why. He never said, Mom, I miss your food. He simply accepted it, as if it were normal. Months passed. I lived in a kind of limbo, not so close that I bothered, not so far that they forgot me, or so I believed, because the truth is that they were already forgetting me. One day in October, Michael called me. Mom, are you free on Sunday? Yes, my son. What is going on? We are going to have a barbecue at the apartment with some friends. Do you want to come? My heart skipped a beat. Really? Of course, my son. Should I bring something? No, Mom. Do not worry. Just come. I hung up excited. Maybe things were improving. Maybe Jessica had changed her opinion. Maybe I did have a place in Michael's life. Sunday, I arrived early. I put on my best clothes. I brought a cake I bought at the bakery. Nothing homemade. I did not want Jessica to think I was competing. When I arrived at the apartment, there were already several people. Music, laughter, smell of grilled meat. Michael opened the door. Mom, good that you arrived. Come in, come in. He introduced me to his friends. This is my mom, Emily. Nice to meet you. They were all young, Michael's age, well-dressed, talking about things I did not understand, apps, investments, trips to Mexico, new restaurants. I sat in a corner of the living room with my glass of soda trying to smile. Jessica was on the terrace, grilling the meat with Michael. I saw her laugh, touch him, kiss him on the cheek. They looked so complete, as if they needed no one else. One of Jessica's friends, a blonde girl with sunglasses on, even though we were inside, sat next to me. And what do you do, Mrs. Emily? Well, I am retired. Before I worked cleaning houses. She nodded but said nothing else. She just took her glass of wine and went with the other girls. I felt small, invisible, as if I had nothing interesting to say, nothing valuable to contribute. At one moment, Jessica raised her glass. Guys, a toast to Michael, who just closed an incredible project at the company. Everyone applauded. And to Jessica, who just got a promotion, shouted one of the friends. More applause, more laughter. I applauded too, from my corner. But nobody saw me. When it got dark, people started to leave. I stood up to say goodbye too. Michael's son, I'm leaving. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thanks for coming, Mom. I will walk you to the door. Jessica was picking up plates. She did not even turn to look at me. Bye, Jessica. Thank you very much. Bye, Emily. Get home safe. Michael accompanied me to the elevator. Did you have a good time, Mom? Yes, son. Very good. Your friends are very nice. I am glad. Hey, Mom, can I ask you something? Of course, son. Whatever you want. It is just that the next time you come, let me know ahead of time. Okay, Jessica likes to have everything organized. I felt a prick in my chest. But you invited me today, son. Yes, I know. But in general. For other times. Ah, clear. Yes, I will let you know. The elevator arrived. I got in. I love you, Mom. I love you too, son. The doors closed and I burst into tears. November arrived, and with it, Michael's birthday. 32 years. I had always made him a homemade cake. Chocolate, his favorite, with candles and a handmade card. But this year I did not know what to do. Should I bring him the cake, or would it be too much? I decided to call him, "Son, happy birthday." "Thanks, Mom." "What are you going to do today? Jessica organized a dinner for me, with her family and some friends." "Ah, how nice. And can I see you even for a while?" "It is going to be complicated, Mom. We are going to be busy all day. Not even a quick coffee in the morning." "Mom, I really cannot. But I promise we will see each other another day." "Okay, sure, son. Have a beautiful time. Thanks. I love you." I hung up, and that day I spent it alone, with the cake I had made him, even if he did not know it. I ate a slice. I put a candle on it. I sang happy birthday to a photograph of him, and I cried until I fell asleep on the couch. December arrived cold and gray, the streets filled with Christmas decorations, lights, carols, families buying gifts together. I walked alone through the market, watching all that, feeling that every happy family was a mirror of what I had lost. One day I received a message from Michael. "Mom Jessica and I are going to spend Christmas with her family in Chicago. We will let you know when we return." I read the message 3 times. I could not believe it. It was our first Christmas apart, always. We had always spent Christmas together, since he was born. Even when he had a girlfriend in high school, he returned home to have dinner with me. But now Jessica was his priority, and I was what was left over. I replied, "It is okay, son. Have a beautiful time. I love you both." But inside, I was dying. I spent Christmas Eve alone. I set the table as always. I made pot roast, stuffing, punch. I set 2 plates. One for me, another for Michael's empty chair. I sat in front of that empty chair and ate in silence. At 12 at night, when the fireworks and bells started, I looked out the window. I saw families hugging, laughing, toasting, and I toasted alone, with my glass of cider, with the radio on so as not to feel the silence. "Merry Christmas, Michael," I whispered, looking at his photograph on the mantelpiece. 2 days later, Michael called me. "Mom, Merry Christmas. How was it? Good, son. Quiet. And you guys? Very good. Jessica's family is very big. It was very fun. That is good, son. I am glad. And you? Who did you have dinner with alone?" "Son, but do not worry. I was fine." Silence. "Mom, Nothing happened." "Michael, seriously, you have your life. I understand. Mom, do not say that. It is the truth, son. And it is okay. Really." But it was not okay. Nothing was okay. January arrived like a mouthful of bitter air. I kept trying to be less present, less demanding. But every time I succeeded, I felt emptier. As if by trying not to bother, I was erasing myself. One afternoon, while cleaning the house, I found an old box under my bed. Inside were all the cards Michael had made me as a child. "For the best mom in the world. Thanks for taking care of me, Mom. I love you to infinity." I sat on the floor surrounded by those cards, crying like I had not cried in years. Where was that boy? Where was that unconditional love? Had I lost it forever? February brought with it a new invitation. Michael called me excited. "Mom, Jessica, and I want to invite you to dinner to celebrate." My heart accelerated. "Celebrate what, son? I will tell you there. It is a surprise." "When, on Friday, I will send you the address. It is okay, son. I will be there." I hung up with a mix of excitement and fear. Maybe they were going to announce they were expecting a baby. Maybe that would give me back a place in their lives. Maybe there was still hope. Friday arrived. I got ready carefully. The same navy blue dress that was already starting to seem like a curse, but it was the only elegant one I had. I arrived at the restaurant 15 minutes early. This time, it was the Golden Terrace, the same place where everything had started. I felt a shiver upon entering. Michael and Jessica were already at the table. She looked radiant. He looked nervous. "Hello, Mom." Michael greeted me, giving me a kiss on the cheek. "Hello, Emily," said Jessica with that smile that never reached her eyes. I sat across from them with sweating hands. "Well, what are we going to celebrate?" Michael looked at Jessica. She nodded. "Mom, Jessica, and I are going to buy a house." I felt a blow to the chest. A house. Yes, it is a beautiful house, in a gated community, with a garden, 3 bedrooms. That is great, son. I am very glad, and we want you to come see it when it is ready. I smiled, but inside I felt something breaking, because a house means permanence. It means roots. It means Michael was not coming back. The dinner went on in a tense calm. I tried to appear happy, enthusiastic, but every word they said about their house, about their future, about their plans, reminded me that I was not in those plans. And then it happened. Jessica got up to go to the bathroom. She left her purse on the chair open. I did not look at it. I did not want to go through that again. But when she returned, her face changed, and I knew before she said a single word that everything was going to start again. Jessica checked her purse with rapid, frantic movements. Her fingers rummaged through the things: the cell phone, the keys, the wallet, the makeup. "It cannot be," she murmured. Michael left his glass of wine on the table. "What is wrong?" Jessica looked up. Her eyes shone with something I could not decipher. Fear, rage, or something worse. My money. Again. The world stopped. "What do you mean, again?" asked Michael with a frown. "I had $800 in here. I counted them this morning before leaving. I put them in this compartment." She pointed to the inside of her purse. "And they are not there." I felt the blood draining from my face. "Jessica." My voice came out trembling. "I did not touch your purse. I swear to you." She looked at me, fixedly, without blinking. "I did not say it was you, Emily." But her tone. Her tone said exactly that. Michael ran his hands through his hair, breathing deeply. "This cannot be happening again." "Well, it is happening, Michael. And this time, I am not going to stay silent." Jessica raised her hand and called the restaurant manager. A tall man in a dark suit approached with a professional smile. "Good evening. How can I help you? I want to speak with you in private," said Jessica with a firm voice. The manager looked at Michael, then at me, and nodded. "Sure. Follow me, please." Jessica stood up. Michael, too. I remained seated, paralyzed. "Mom, come," said Michael with a tense voice. "Me? But come on, Mom, please." I stood up with trembling legs. I felt all the eyes in the restaurant nailed to my back. They took us to a small office behind the kitchen. The manager closed the door. "What is happening?" Jessica spoke first, with that rehearsed calm she used when she wanted to sound reasonable. 3 months ago we dined here, and $800 were stolen from my purse while I was in the bathroom. Tonight it happened again. Exactly the same amount. Exactly in the same circumstances. The manager frowned. "Ma'am, I am very sorry to hear that, but we have a very strict security protocol. Our staff is trustworthy. I am not accusing your staff," said Jessica, looking at me sideways. "But something is happening, and I want to know what." The manager cleared his throat. "Do you have any proof that the money was in the purse?" "Proof?" Jessica laughed, bitterly. "Do you want me to show you a receipt that I kept my own money in my own purse?" "No, ma'am. I am just trying to understand the situation." Michael intervened with a tired voice. "Do you have security cameras?" The manager hesitated. "Yes, we have cameras in the dining area." "Then check them," said Jessica, crossing her arms. "I want to see who approached our table while I was not there." My heart beat so fast I thought everyone could hear it. "Ma'am, we cannot show the recordings just like that. We would need an official order." "An official order." Jessica raised her voice. Are you telling me you prefer to protect a thief than help a customer? No, ma'am. I just follow protocol. Michael rubbed his face, desperate. Please, we just want to know what happened. My mom is here and she... He stopped as if the words weighed on him. She already went through this once. It is not fair for it to happen again. The manager looked at the three of us. Then he sighed. Let me talk to the head of security, but I promise nothing. He left the office. We stayed, the three of us, alone. The silence was so dense it seemed solid. Jessica sat on a chair with the purse on her lap. Michael remained standing, looking at the floor. I did not know what to do. Michael, I whispered. I did not do anything. I swear to God. He did not look at me. I know Mom, but his voice had no conviction. Jessica let out a dry laugh. Do you know Michael? Do you really know Jessica? Please? No, Michael. It already happened once, and now it happens again. How many coincidences do you need to open your eyes? My mom is not a thief, shouted Michael, and his scream pierced my chest because it sounded more like a plea than a defense, as if he himself needed to be convinced. The manager returned 5 minutes later. He brought a young man with him, a waiter. I recognized him immediately. It was the same one who had looked at me that night, the one with dark hair, the one who whispered something to the manager while I was leaving. My stomach twisted. This is Jason, said the manager. He was serving your table tonight. Jason looked at us nervous. He played with his hands. Good evening. Jessica stood up, approaching him. Did you see something? Did you see who approached our table? Jason swallowed saliva. He looked at the manager as if asking for permission. I saw something, but I do not know if I should. Say it, ordered Jessica. Whatever it is, say it. Jason took a deep breath, and then he looked at me, directly, with those eyes that said too much. Sir? He said, addressing Michael. It was not his mom who took the money. The air in the room changed. What Michael murmured. Jason cleared his throat. I saw something that night 3 months ago when the older lady left crying. I was left with the doubt. And that is why I approached the table. What did you see? Asked Jessica with a tense voice. Jason looked at the manager again. The manager nodded. I saw the lady. He pointed at Jessica. I saw that before you arrived, she handed money to a man who was not her husband. The silence that followed was deafening. What whispered Michael as if he had not heard right? It is a lie, said Jessica with a cold voice. That is completely false. Jason shook his head. I am not lying, ma'am. I was cleaning a table near the entrance. You arrived alone. You sat at the bar, and a man approached you. They talked, and then you gave him an envelope with money. That did not happen, shouted Jessica. This guy is inventing things. Ma'am, with all respect. Jason took a deep breath. I also saw you kiss him. The world stopped. Michael stood motionless, with his eyes wide open, with his mouth half open. What did you say? Jason swallowed saliva but continued. I saw you kiss him. On the lips. It was not a kiss of friends. It was a kiss of a couple. Jessica turned pale. You are crazy. You are completely crazy. Ma'am, I just say what I saw. Michael turned toward Jessica with his face undone. Jessica, what is this guy saying? He is lying, can't you see? Surely they bribed him to say that. Who was going to bribe him? Shouted Michael. My mom. Do you seriously think my mom? I do not know, Michael. But this is ridiculous. The manager intervened, raising his hands. Please calm down. Mr. Jason, are you sure of what you are saying? Completely sure. And if you do not believe me... He looked at Jessica fixedly. Check the cameras. Everything was recorded. Jessica staggered. She held onto the back of the chair. Michael, he is lying. I never... Then let's check the cameras, said Michael with a broken voice. If you have nothing to hide, let's check the damn cameras. Jessica opened her mouth, closed it. opened it again. I do not need to prove anything. You should trust me, like I trusted you when you accused my mom," shouted Michael, and his voice broke. "2 times, Jessica. 2 times you humiliated her in public." Jessica started crying. "Michael, please. This is a misunderstanding." "No," he said with a trembling voice. "It is not a misunderstanding. Something is happening, and I am going to find out what." He turned to the manager. "Show me the cameras, now." The manager took us to another smaller office. There was a desk with several monitors. "The cameras record everything," said the manager. "But I have to warn you, this can take time. I need to search for the exact date." "Search," said Michael with a tense jaw. "Search everything, from 3 months ago and from today." The manager typed on the computer. I stood by the door, not daring to approach. Jessica was sitting on a chair with her face in her hands, crying. Michael was standing next to the manager with clenched fists. 10 minutes passed. The manager found the file. "Here it is, 3 months ago, the date you gave me." He pressed play. The screen showed the entrance of the restaurant in black and white with the time marked in the corner. And there was Jessica, arriving alone, sitting at the bar. Michael leaned toward the screen. What is she doing? She was supposed to be running an errand. Nobody answered. Then a man approached her, tall, about 30 years old, well-dressed. Jessica stood up. They talked, smiled, and then she took something out of her purse. An envelope. She handed it to him. The man opened it, counted bills, and then Jessica kissed him. Michael took a step back as if he had been hit. No. Jessica was still crying, but now in silence. Michael let me explain. Explain what his voice was a torn whisper. Explain that you cheated on me, that you gave our money to another man, that you accused my mom twice to cover your lie. Jessica stood up, trying to approach him. It is not what it looks like. Do not touch me, shouted Michael, pulling away. Do not dare touch me. The manager paused the video. Sir, if you need time? No, said Michael with a broken voice. Show the one from today. I want to see it all. The manager searched for the file from that night. He played it, and there it was again. Jessica arriving late. But in reality, she had arrived an hour earlier. She sat at the bar, alone. The same man approached. They talked, argued. He seemed upset. Jessica took money out of her purse. She handed it to him. He took it and left. Then Jessica fixed her hair, took out her phone, and headed toward where we were. Like nothing happened. Michael dropped into a chair. He did not cry, he did not scream. He just looked into the void, with glassy eyes. Michael. Jessica tried to speak, but he raised his hand. No, I do not want to hear you. He turned to me, and in his eyes I saw something that broke my heart. Guilt, shame, pain. Mom. His voice broke. Mom, I approached him. I took his hand. It is okay, son. It is okay. But it was not okay. Nothing was okay. We left the restaurant in silence, a heavy, dense silence, as if the air itself had become solid. Jessica walked behind us, crying. She tried to speak, but Michael did not turn to look at her. I walked next to my son, holding his arm, feeling how he trembled. When we arrived at the parking lot, Jessica finally spoke. Michael, please let me explain. He stopped, took a deep breath, and turned to her. Explain what, Jessica? What else is there to explain? I saw everything. Everything. It is not what you think. It is not what I think. His voice rose in volume. Did I see the video wrong? Did I see wrong how you gave money to that guy? Did I see wrong how you kissed him? Jessica covered her face with her hands. He is my ex. The world stopped again. Your ex, Michael, laughed, but there was no humor in his laugh, only bitterness. And what were you doing, giving money to your ex and kissing him? He was extorting me, Michael. He asked me for money. He threatened to tell you things. What things? Jessica kept silent. What things, Jessica? That I never stopped seeing him, that during our engagement, I kept seeing him. Michael took a step back as if the words were physical blows. You cheated on me during our engagement, Jessica sobbed. It was just for a time, Michael. I was confused. I did not know if I wanted to be with you or with him, but later, I chose to be with you. You chose to be with me. Michael ran his hands through his hair, desperate. And am I supposed to thank you? Thank you for cheating on me and then deciding to stay, Michael, please. And the money. Why did you give him money? Because he threatened to tell you everything, to ruin our marriage. I did not want to lose you. But you cheated on me, shouted Michael, for years. And to top it off, you paid that guy with our money, with the money I earned. Jessica tried to approach, but he pulled away. Do not touch me. Do not come near me. Then Michael turned to me, and I saw something in his face that destroyed me. Pure guilt. Mom. His voice broke. Mom, I accused you. I humiliated you twice. Tears started falling from me. Michael, no, Mom. Let me speak. He covered his face with his hands. I screamed at you in the middle of a restaurant. I pointed at you as if you were a thief. I let them check your purse in front of everyone. And after I stopped seeing you, I stopped calling you. I spent Christmas without you. I made you feel that you were not important. Son, you did not know I should have known, he shouted with a broken voice. You are my mother, the woman who raised me alone, the woman who worked all her life so that I had a future. And I chose to believe her. He pointed at Jessica with contempt. I chose to believe her instead of you. I approached him. I hugged him. Michael, listen to me. You loved your wife. You trusted her. That is not bad, but I hurt you, Mom. I hurt you so much, and I forgive you, son. I forgive you. Michael clung to me, crying like he had not cried since he was a child, and I held him, as I had always held him. Jessica was still crying, standing by the car. Michael, please do not leave me. We can fix this. We can go to therapy. We can... Michael separated from me, wiped his tears, and looked at Jessica with a coldness I had never seen in him. No, Jessica. We are not going to fix anything. Michael, I love you. I swear to you. All this was a mistake. A mistake. Michael laughed, bitterly. Cheating on me was a mistake. Being extorted was a mistake. Accusing my mother twice to cover your lies was a mistake. I was desperate. I do not care. I do not care about anything you say anymore. Jessica fell to her knees, crying. Please, Michael, do not do this. We are a family. We have plans. The house is canceled. The marriage is over. Everything ends tonight. Jessica sobbed, pleading. But Michael no longer looked at her. He turned to me. Mom, can I stay with you tonight? I do not want to be alone. Of course, my son. Of course. We got into my car. We left Jessica crying in the parking lot. I drove in silence. Michael looked out the window, lost in his thoughts. When we arrived at my house, he entered as if he were an automaton. He sat on the couch, the same couch where he sat as a child when he watched cartoons. Do you want something to eat? Son, no, Mom. Just silence. With the weight of everything that had happened. After a while, Michael spoke. Mom, how did I not realize what son? What she was doing? I sighed. Love is blind, Michael. When you love someone, you see what you want to see, not what is. But I should have seen it. I should have seen how she treated you, how she pushed you away from me, how she made you feel less. You were in love, and that is understandable. But she manipulated me, Mom. She made me believe that you were the problem, that you were too much, that you did not let me be happy. Tears started falling from me again. She told you that, yes, many times. She said you needed to learn to let go, that you were dependent on me, that you made me feel guilty for living my life. Michael. And I believed her, Mom. I believed every word, until I came to think that you were a burden in my life. I broke down. My son, I never wanted to be a burden. You are not, he shouted, crying. You were never the problem. She was. She took me away from you. She took me away from the only person who really loves me unconditionally. I hugged him, and we cried together, for all the lost time, for all the pain, for everything Jessica had destroyed. That night, Michael slept in his old room, the one that still had his teenage bed, his old posters, his school trophies. I stayed awake looking at the closed door, feeling that my son had returned. Not in the way I would have wanted, but he had returned. The next morning, Michael woke up early. I found him in the kitchen drinking coffee with a lost gaze. "Good morning, my son." "Good morning, Mom." I sat across from him. "Did you sleep well?" "No. But being here, being with you, made me feel a little better." I smiled. "You will always have a place here, Michael. Always." He took my hand. "Mom, I am very sorry for everything I put you through. Sorry for ignoring you. Sorry for choosing Jessica over you. It already passed, my son. No, it has not passed. And it won't pass until I fix it. What are you going to do? I am going to divorce her. I am going to start over, and I am going to make up for the lost time with you." Tears fell from me again. "You do not have to do that for me. I am not doing it just for you, Mom. I am doing it for me. Because I understood something last night. What that true family is not the one you choose. It is the one that never abandons you. And you never abandoned me, even when I abandoned you." That week, Michael started the divorce proceedings. Jessica tried to talk to him. She called him. She sent him messages. She went to the apartment. But Michael did not yield. He had made a decision, and it was final. One day, 2 weeks later, Michael arrived at my house with a box. "What is that, son? Are they things you wanted to store here?" "If you do not mind, of course not. What is inside?" He opened the box. Inside were all the photos of his childhood, the cards he had made me, the drawings. Jessica wanted me to throw them away. She said they took up too much space, that they were things of the past. And what did you tell her? I told her that the past is the only thing that really matters, because the past is what makes us who we are. I smiled with tears in my eyes. "You are a good man, Michael, because I had a good mother." But the story did not end there, because Jessica was not going to disappear so easily, and what was about to come was going to be the biggest test of all. The divorce was not easy. Jessica fought. With all her strength, she hired an expensive lawyer. She asked for half of everything: the house they were going to buy, the savings, the furniture in the apartment, and when that was not enough, she started playing dirty. One afternoon, Michael arrived at my house with a haggard face. "Mom, I need to talk to you." "What happened, son?" He sat on the couch with trembling hands. "Jessica is saying things, horrible things. What things she told my boss, that I mistreated her, that I yelled at her, that I hit her. I felt my blood freeze. What? It is a lie, Mom. Everything is a lie. I never laid a hand on her. Never. I know, son. I know you are not like that. But she is saying it. And the people believe her. Did your boss tell you something? He called me to his office? He asked me if it was true. I told him no, that she was lying because we are in the process of divorce. He told me he trusted me, but that I should be careful, that those accusations are delicate. I approached him. I took his hands. Michael, the truth always comes to light. Always. But meanwhile, Mom, she is destroying me. And not only that, Jessica also started calling Michael's friends, telling them her version of the story, that he had abandoned her without reason, that he was influenced by his mother, that I had poisoned him against her. She says, "You brainwashed me, Mom." Michael told me one night with a tired voice that you always hated her, that you invented everything to separate her from me. And do your friends believe her? Some do. Others do not know what to think. And I do not have the strength to be explaining to everyone what happened. You do not have to do it, son. The people who really care about you will believe you. But I saw in his eyes the fatigue, the wear. Jessica had not only broken his heart, she was snatching his peace. A month later, Michael received a citation. Jessica was suing him, not only for the divorce but for moral damages. She alleged that he had defamed her, that he had exposed her publicly, that he had ruined her reputation. How can she do this? Michael asked me with the papers trembling in his hands. How can she have the nerve to accuse me after everything she did? Because desperate people do desperate things, son, but I have proof. I have the video from the restaurant, and that is what you are going to show. The truth always wins, Michael, but I knew that the truth does not always win fast and that meanwhile there is much suffering. The divorce trial was exhausting. I accompanied Michael to every hearing. I sat in the back of the room watching how Jessica cried in front of the judge. She cried with a perfect performance. She said she loved Michael, that she had made mistakes, yes, but that she deserved a second chance, that the video from the restaurant was taken out of context, that she had given money to her ex because he threatened her, that the kiss had been forced. I was just trying to protect my marriage, Your Honor, she said with a broken voice. But my husband chose to believe his mother instead of me. Michael's lawyer presented the evidence, the complete video, the waiter's testimony, the text messages between Jessica and her ex. But Jessica had an answer for everything. The messages were misinterpreted. The video did not show the complete context. The waiter was confused. After 3 hearings, the judge handed down the sentence. The divorce was granted. The assets would be divided equally. Jessica received nothing for moral damages, but neither was she punished for her lies. Marital conflicts are complex, said the judge, and it is not the function of this court to judge the morality of the parties. We left the room with an empty victory. Yes, Michael was free, but he had paid a very high price. Jessica left the room crying, accompanied by her lawyer, but before leaving, she stopped in front of Michael. I hope you are happy, she told him with a trembling voice. I hope your mother makes you happy because you lost the only woman who really loved you. Michael did not answer. He just looked at her with a coldness that made me shudder. And she left. The months that followed were of reconstruction. Michael sold the apartment where he had lived with Jessica. He wanted nothing to remind him of her. He bought a smaller place, simpler, closer to my house. I want to be close to you, Mom. I do not want to move away again. Whenever you need it, son always. Little by little, Michael started to heal. He smiled again. He returned to visit me on Sundays. He returned to call me every night like before. But sometimes I saw him lost in his thoughts. What are you thinking about, son? About how I could be so blind, Mom? How I let her manipulate me so much? Do not blame yourself. She was very good at lying. But I should have seen the signs. I should have realized. Michael, we all make mistakes. The important thing is to learn from them. And I am doing it, Mom. Believe me, I am doing it. One day, 6 months after the divorce, Michael arrived with news. Mom, they offered me a promotion at work. Really, that is wonderful, son. Yes, but it implies more responsibility. More hours, more travel, and are you going to accept it? I do not know. I thought about rejecting it to have more time with you. I smiled with tears in my eyes. Michael, do not reject anything for me. Take that promotion. Build your career. Live your life. But Mom? But nothing, son. I already fulfilled my purpose. I raised you. I saw you become a good man. Now it is your turn to fly. But I do not want to lose you again, and you are not going to lose me, because now you understood something you did not know before. What that I am always going to be here. No matter how far you are, no matter how busy you are, I am always going to be your mom, and I am always going to love you." Michael hugged me, tight, long. "Thanks, Mom, for everything, for never giving up on me. I would never give up on you, son. Never." He accepted the promotion, and I was proud. Because finally Michael had learned to balance, to love without losing himself, to be independent without forgetting his roots. But one afternoon while I was cleaning the house, I received a call. It was an unknown number. "Hello, Emily." It was a woman's voice, young, nervous. "Yes." "Who is speaking?" "It is Monica, Jessica's friend." I felt my stomach turn. "What do you want? I need to talk to you. It is important. It is about Jessica. I have nothing to talk about regarding her. Please, Mrs. Emily, it is important. Just give me 5 minutes." I hesitated. "What is it about I cannot tell you over the phone? Can we meet in a public place? Why should I see you? Because Jessica is in trouble, and I think you and Michael have the right to know." My heart started beating faster. "What kind of trouble? Please meet with me. I will explain everything to you." I agreed to meet her at a coffee shop near my house. When I arrived, I saw her sitting at a table in the back. She was a young girl of about 25, with brown hair and a worried face. "Thanks for coming, Mrs. Emily. What do you have to tell me?" Monica took a deep breath. "Jessica. Jessica is not well. Since the divorce, she has been different. Different how she is obsessed with Michael. She says she is going to get him back, that this is not over." I felt a shiver. "What are you saying?" "She says it was all your fault, that you put ideas into Michael's head, that you destroyed her marriage. That is not true." "I know. That is why I came, because I am afraid of what she might do." I approached. Monica took out her phone. She showed me a screenshot. It was a message from Jessica in a group of friends. "If I cannot have Michael, nobody will, and his mother is going to pay for what she did." I looked at the screenshot on Monica's phone, feeling the world wobble. If I cannot have Michael, nobody will, and his mother is going to pay for what she did. The words hit me like stones. "When did she write this?" I asked, with a trembling voice. 3 days ago. In the group of friends, I tried to talk to her, but she does not listen to me. "She is very bad, Mrs. Emily. Why are you telling me this? You are her friend." Monica looked down. "Because I am her friend, and because I care about her. But what she is doing, what she is planning, is not right. Someone has to stop her before she does something she regrets. What is she planning exactly? I do not know for sure. But she has been talking about justice, about recovering what is hers, about teaching you a lesson." I felt fear tightening my chest. "Do you think she can hurt us? I do not know. But Jessica, when she gets obsessed with something, she does not stop. And right now, she is obsessed with you." That night when Michael arrived for dinner, I did not tell him anything. I did not want to worry him. I did not want him to feel that Jessica still had power over our lives. But I could not sleep. I stayed awake all night, staring at the ceiling, thinking about what to do. Should I tell Michael? Should I go to the police? Or was I exaggerating? Maybe Jessica was just venting. Maybe they were words said in a moment of rage. But something inside me told me no. Something told me I should be alert. The following days were strange. I started noticing things. A car parked in front of my house for hours. Always the same one. A gray sedan. Calls to my phone that hung up as soon as I answered. Once when I went out to the market, I had the sensation that someone was following me. But when I turned around, I saw no one. Was I paranoid or was something really happening? One afternoon while returning home, I saw Jessica. She was standing in front of my door, with arms crossed, looking at the entrance. My heart skipped a beat. I stopped a few meters away. What are you doing here, Jessica? She turned toward me, and what I saw in her eyes froze my blood. It was not sadness. It was not rage. It was something colder, more calculated. I came to talk to you, Emily. We have nothing to talk about. Oh, yes, we do. A lot. Jessica, please go away. This is over. She laughed, a bitter laugh, without humor. Over. Do you really think it ended? The divorce is finalized? Michael moved on with his life. You should do the same. Michael moved on with his life. She repeated as if the words were poison. Yes, sure. He moved on. With you. Again stuck to his mommy's skirts. Again being mommy's little boy. I'm not going to argue with you, Jessica. I did not come to argue. I came to tell you something. She took a step toward me. I took a step back. All this is your fault, Emily. You destroyed my marriage. You put ideas into Michael. You poisoned him against me. I did nothing. You yourself destroyed your marriage with your lies. Lies, she shouted. Everyone lies, Emily, everyone. But I was the only one punished. I was the only one who lost everything. You lost what you yourself destroyed. Her eyes shone with fury. Do you know what you think you won? You think you got your son back? But you are wrong. Jessica, go away, please. I am going to get Michael back. And when I do, you are going to be alone again, like you always should have been. She left, but her words stayed with me, like shadows that would not leave. That night, I finally told Michael everything. I showed him the messages Monica had sent me. I told him about the gray car, about the calls, about the encounter with Jessica. Michael turned pale. Why didn't you tell me before, Mom? Because I did not want to worry you, because I thought maybe I was exaggerating. You are not exaggerating. Jessica is out of control. He stood up, walking from one side to the other. I am going to talk to her. I am going to tell her to leave you alone. No son. That is what she wants. She wants you to give her attention. She wants to be back in your life, even if it is like this. Then what do I do? Let her harass you? No, let's go to the police. Let's file a report. Let's do this right. Michael hesitated, then nodded. Okay, tomorrow we go. The next day we went to the police station. We explained everything to the officer on duty. The messages, the calls, the harassment. He listened to us with patience, then sighed. Ma'am, I understand your concern, but without proof that she has done something concrete, we cannot do much. What more proof do you need? Said Michael, frustrated. The messages are clear. The messages are ambiguous. Doing justice is not a direct threat. Teaching a lesson could mean anything, so we have to wait for her to do something, for her to hurt us. I did not say that. I said that for now we can only take the report. If she approaches again, if there is any concrete incident, return, and we will act. We left the station with enormous frustration. This is ridiculous, said Michael, furious. What are we supposed to do? Wait for something bad to happen? No, son. We are going to be careful. We are going to be alert, and we are going to trust that this will pass. But I was not so sure. The following weeks were tense. I constantly checked through the window. Michael called me several times a day to make sure I was okay. We installed security cameras in my house. I changed the locks. I stopped going out alone at night. But Jessica did not appear again. There were no more calls, no more following, nothing. It was as if she had disappeared, and that was almost worse than seeing her, because not knowing where she was, what she was doing, what she was thinking, was terrifying. A month later, Monica called me again. Mrs. Emily, I have to tell you something. What happened? Jessica stopped writing in the group. We haven't heard from her for 2 weeks. Nothing. She does not answer calls. She does not answer messages. It is as if she vanished. And is that good or bad? I do not know. But it worries me, because Jessica is not one of those who give up. And when she is so quiet, it is because she is planning something. I hung up with my stomach churning. That night, while dining with Michael, I told him what Monica had said. Maybe she left the city, suggested Michael. Maybe she decided to start over in another place. Or maybe she is waiting for the right moment. Michael looked at me worried. Mom, you cannot live like this, with fear, with paranoia. It is not paranoia if there is really something to worry about. But we cannot live like this forever. Jessica is no longer part of our lives. We have to move on. He was right. I knew it. But something inside me did not let me be calm. 2 weeks later, I received a letter. It had no sender, only my name and address written by hand. I opened it with trembling hands. Inside was a single sheet of paper, with a short message. Some debts are paid with time. Others are paid with pain. You chose pain. There was no signature. But I knew who had written it. I showed the letter to Michael. His face went pale. That is a direct threat. Now we do have to go to the police. We returned to the station. This time, the officer took the letter as evidence. We are going to investigate. We are going to look for her. But ma'am, you have to be careful. Do not go out alone. Keep your phone at hand, and if you see her, call immediately. I nodded, but fear was already installed in me. That night, I could not sleep. I sat in the living room, with the lights off, looking out the window, and then I saw it. The gray sedan, parked in front of my house, again. My heart started beating strongly. I took my phone, I dialed emergency, but before they answered, the car started and left. The next morning, Michael arrived early. Mom, you cannot stay here. It is not safe. Where am I going to go, son? With me. You are going to stay at my apartment, at least until this is resolved. Michael, I do not want to be a burden. You are not a burden. You are my mom, and I am going to protect you. Like you protected me all my life. Tears fell from me. It is okay, son. It is okay. I packed some things. I closed the house and went with Michael. During the following weeks, I lived in his apartment. He went to work early and returned early. He did not leave me alone for long. I tried to keep busy. I cooked, cleaned, watched television, but always with that fear in my chest, that fear that at any moment Jessica would appear. Until one day we received a call from the police. Mr. Miller, we found Jessica. Michael's heart accelerated. Where is she in the hospital? She had an accident. An accident. What kind of accident? A car accident. She crashed into a pole. She is alive, but she is grave. Michael looked at me. I did not know what to say. Do you need us to go? Asked Michael. It is not necessary. We just wanted to inform you in case you are interested to know. Michael hung up. We stayed in silence. Do you want to go see her? I asked him. He shook his head. No, I have nothing to say to her anymore. Are you sure? Yes. She made her decisions. And now she has to live with the consequences. And at that moment, I understood. I understood that justice does not always arrive in the way we expect. Sometimes it arrives in forms we cannot control. Sometimes it arrives when we least imagine. And sometimes it arrives without us having to do anything, because life itself takes charge of collecting debts. Michael hugged me. Thanks, Mom, for everything, for being strong, for not giving up. You were also strong, son. You too. Now we can move on. Really. Without fear. Yes, son. Without fear. And for the first time in months, I felt I could breathe. The days after the news of Jessica's accident were strange. I did not feel relief, nor did I feel satisfaction. I only felt a deep sadness. Sadness for everything that had happened, for everything that had been destroyed, for all the pain that a single person had caused. And sadness because in the end, Jessica was also a victim of herself. Michael returned to work. I returned to my house a week later. The cameras were still there, the new locks too, but the fear was no longer there, because I knew that Jessica could no longer hurt us, not because she was in the hospital, but because her own poison had consumed her. 2 months later, Monica called me again. "Mrs. Emily, can I see you?" "For what, Monica?" "It is about Jessica. I think there are things you should know." I hesitated, but in the end, I accepted. We met at the same coffee shop as before. Monica looked tired, haggard, as if she had not slept in days. "Thanks for coming," she said with a trembling voice. "How is Jessica? She left the hospital 2 weeks ago, but she's not well. Physically, she is better, but mentally, she is destroyed." "What do you mean?" Monica sighed. "The accident changed her, left her different. She has sequels, problems walking, constant pain. And the company where she worked, they fired her." I felt a prick in my chest. They fired her, yes. They said after the accident she could no longer fulfill her duties, and with all the scandal of the divorce, with the accusations she herself made, her reputation was shattered. "Monica, I do not know why you are telling me this, because I need you to understand something, Mrs. Emily. Jessica is alone, completely alone. Her family no longer speaks to her. She lost her job, she lost her marriage, she lost her health, and now she is in a small apartment, living off her savings, unable to get work because nobody wants to hire her." Tears started falling from her, and the worst of all is that she knows it was all her fault. She knows, and that is killing her inside. I stayed in silence because I did not know what to say. Part of me wanted to feel pity for Jessica, but another part remembered everything she had done to me, the humiliations, the accusations, the pain she caused Michael. "Why are you telling me this, Monica?" I asked finally. "Because Jessica asked me to come. She asked me to tell you something." "What thing?" Monica took an envelope out of her purse. She handed it to me. "This. She asked me to give it to you." I took it with trembling hands. "What is it?" "A letter. For you." I waited to arrive home to open it. I sat in the living room with sweating hands looking at the envelope. Did I really want to read what Jessica had to say to me, or was it better to leave everything behind? But curiosity won. I opened the envelope, took out the letter, and started to read. "Emily, I do not know if you will read this. I do not know if you care, but I need to write it. I need to get it out of me. You are right about everything. I destroyed my marriage. I accused an innocent woman. I manipulated Michael. I did everything you said I did, and now I am paying for it. I am not writing to ask for forgiveness. I know I do not deserve it. I know I did unforgivable things. I write to you because I need you to know something. I was not born bad. I was not always like this. When I was a child, my dad taught me that in this world, either you step or get stepped on. That if you do not fight for what you want, someone else is going to take it from you. That love is a competition. And I learned that lesson too well. When I met Michael, I saw in him something I had never seen in anyone else. I saw kindness. I saw loyalty. I saw a man who really loved his mother. And instead of admiring him, I hated him. I hated that you were so important to him. I hated that he loved you so much, because I never had that. My mom never hugged me like you hug Michael. My dad never told me he was proud of me. And instead of trying to earn your affection, I decided to destroy you. I decided that if I could not have that love, nobody would have it. And that is why I did what I did. That is why I accused you. That is why I tried to push you away from Michael. That is why I invented lies. Because in my twisted head, I thought if I removed you from his life, he would finally love me like I wanted to be loved. But I was wrong. Because love is not stolen. It is not manipulated. It is not forced. Real love is what you gave Michael, unconditional, without selfishness, without control. And I never understood that until now that I lost everything, now that I am alone, now that I have nothing, Now I understand what I lost and what I will never recover. I do not ask you to forgive me. I do not ask you to feel pity for me. I just ask you to know that I am sorry. Truly, I am sorry. And that if I could turn back time, I would do everything differently. But I cannot. And now I have to live with that. Thanks for having been the mother I never had, even if you did not know it, even if you did not want it. Thanks for having taught Michael what true love is, and sorry for everything. Jessica. I folded the letter with trembling hands. Tears fell from me uncontrollably. Not because I felt pity for Jessica, but because finally I understood something. Jessica was not a monster. She was a broken person, a person who never learned to love in a healthy way, and that was sadder than any punishment. That night, Michael came to dinner. I showed him the letter. He read it in silence. When he finished, he left it on the table. "What do you think, son?" "I think that she is right, but that does not erase what she did." "I know." "Do you forgive her, Mom?" I took a deep breath. "I do not know, Michael. I do not know if I can forgive her. But I think I can let go of the grudge. What is the difference? Forgiving means forgetting. Letting go of the grudge means remembering, but no longer letting it hurt you." Michael nodded. "I think that is wise, Mom. It is the only thing I can do. For me, for you, for us." Months passed. Michael went on with his life. He focused on his work. He started dating a new girl, a simple, kind girl, who greeted me with genuine respect. I returned to my routine, to my house, to my things. But from time to time, I thought about Jessica. I wondered how she would be, if she had found peace, if she had learned something. And one afternoon, while walking through the market, I saw her. She was sitting on a park bench, alone. She looked thinner, paler. She walked with a cane. Our gazes crossed. I hesitated. I did not know whether to approach or keep walking, but something in me, something told me to go. I approached slowly. Jessica. She looked up, her eyes filled with tears. "Emily, can I sit?" She nodded, surprised. I sat next to her, in silence. A few minutes passed. Neither of us said anything, until she spoke. "I never thought I would see you again." "Me neither." "Did you read my letter?" "Yes. And I think finally you understood what you lost." Jessica nodded with tears falling down her cheeks. "Every day I think about what I did. Every day I wish I could turn back time. But you cannot. None of us can. I know. And that is why I am here, alone, paying for my mistakes. Jessica." I took a deep breath. "I did not come to judge you. I came because I think you needed to know something, what that life already charged you what you owed, and that now you can start over, if you want." She looked at me incredulous. "How can I start over? I have nothing. No one. You have your life. And while you have life, you have opportunities. But no one is going to forgive me. Not Michael, not you, not anyone. You do not need them to forgive you. You need to forgive yourself." Jessica started to sob. "I do not know how to do that. No one knows at the beginning. But you learn, with time, with pain, with humility." I got up from the bench. "Take care, Jessica. Emily, thanks. For this, for coming, for not hating me. I do not hate you. I never hated you. I just wanted to protect my son. And you did. You were the mother I never had, and that I never knew how to be." I nodded and walked away. While walking back home, I felt something strange. Peace. It was not happiness. It was not victory. It was peace. Because finally I had released the weight of the grudge, of the fear, of the rage, and now I could breathe. That night, Michael called me. "Mom, how was your day, good son?" "Calm." "Are you sure you sound different?" I smiled. It is that I am different, son. Different, how lighter, as if I had left something behind. I am glad to hear that Mom, and you, how are you? Good, very good. Andrea and I are going to the movies tomorrow. Do you want to come? No, son. You two enjoy. We will have time to be together. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. I love you, Mom. I love you too, son. With all my heart. I hung up the phone, and I stayed sitting in the living room, looking at the photograph of Michael as a boy. That photograph where he hugged me, where he looked at me with pure love. And I realized something. That boy never left. He just grew, matured, made mistakes. But in the end, he returned to me. And that was more valuable than any revenge. 3 months later, I received another call from Monica. Mrs. Emily, I wanted to tell you something. What happened? Jessica left. She left the city. She went to live with an aunt in the South. She said she needed to start from zero in a place where nobody knew her. It seems good to me. I hope she does well. Before leaving, she gave me something for you. What thing? A photograph of Michael from when they were married. She said you should have it, that you were always more his family than she was. I felt tears escaping me again. Thanks, Monica, for everything. No, ma'am. Thanks to you for teaching me that dignity and kindness always win, even if they take time. And she was right. Dignity always wins. Not with screams, not with revenge, not with hate, but with silence, with patience, with unconditional love, because in the end, life itself takes charge of balancing the accounts, and people who sow pain always end up harvesting loneliness. 2 years have passed since that night at the restaurant. 2 years since my world collapsed and then rebuilt itself. 2 years in which I learned that sometimes the worst storms bring the most valuable lessons. Today is Sunday, my favorite day of the week, because on Sundays, Michael comes to eat at my house. Sometimes he comes alone. Sometimes he comes with Andrea, his girlfriend. And 3 months ago, he started coming with someone else. I hear the doorbell. I wipe my hands on my apron and go to open. There is Michael, with that smile that lights up everything. Next to him, Andrea, with her sweetness of always. And in Andrea's arms, my granddaughter, Sophia, 3 months old, her dad's eyes, her mom's nose, and my whole heart. Hello, Mom, says Michael, kissing me on the cheek. Hello, son. Come in, come in. Andrea hands me Sophia carefully. Hello, Mrs. Emily. How are you? Better now that you arrived. I take Sophia in my arms. She looks at me with those huge, curious eyes, and I feel that everything was worth it. Every tear, every pain, every sleepless night, everything was worth it to arrive at this moment. We sit at the table. I served the mole I had prepared since early. Smells delicious, Mom, says Michael, serving himself. It is your favorite. I could not make anything else. Andrea smiles at me. Mrs. Emily, every time I come here, I learn something new. Yesterday, Michael taught me to make tortillas like you taught him. Really? I look at Michael, surprised. He shrugs with a shy smile. I wanted Sophia to grow up knowing where she comes from, knowing that her grandmother taught her dad everything important. My eyes fill with tears. Oh, son, you are going to make me cry. They are good tears, Mom, the best. While we eat, we chat about everything, about nothing, about how Sophia already smiles, about how Andrea is thinking of returning to work part-time, about how Michael is considering another promotion, and I just listen and observe and give thanks. Because this family I have now, this family is real. It is not built on lies. It is not sustained by manipulation. It is built on genuine love, on respect, on truth. After eating, Andrea takes Sophia to the living room to change her diaper. Michael stays with me in the kitchen, helping me wash the dishes, like when he was a boy. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course, son. Did you ever Did you ever think about giving up in that time when Jessica was pushing me away from you? I stop. I think about his question. Yes, many times. And why didn't you do it? Because giving up meant losing you, and I could not do that. You were the only thing I had, the only thing that mattered. Michael leaves the plate he was drying, but it hurt right. Seeing me choose her, it hurt like you have no idea. Every time you did not answer my calls, every time you canceled a visit, every time you defended her instead of me, everything hurt. I am sorry, Mom. I know I have told you 1,000 times, but... Michael. I interrupt him, taking his hands. Enough. I already forgave you. It already passed. We cannot keep carrying the past. We have to live the present. I know. But sometimes I still feel guilty. Guilt is not going to give you back the lost time, but love can give you a new beginning. He hugs me, tight, like when he was a boy and was afraid of the dark. Thanks, Mom, for never giving up on me. I would never do it, son. Never. That afternoon, while Michael and Andrea leave, I stay at the door watching them depart. Michael carries the baby carrier with Sophia. Andrea goes next to him, holding his arm. They look happy, complete, and I feel at peace. I enter the house. I sit on the couch. I take the photograph of Michael as a boy. That photograph that has accompanied me during all these years. And I think about everything that happened, about Jessica, about the accusations, about the pain, about the tears. But I also think about the lessons. I learned that true love does not compete. It does not manipulate. It does not destroy. True love waits, trusts, forgives. I learned that I cannot control the decisions of others, not even those of my own son, but I can control how I react. I can choose dignity over revenge, patience over despair. I learned that justice does not always arrive when one wants, nor how one expects, but it always arrives. Always. Because life has a way of balancing the accounts, of collecting debts, of rewarding patience, and I learned that forgiving does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. It means releasing the grudge so it does not destroy you inside. It means understanding that hurt people, and that sometimes the greatest act of love is letting someone face the consequences of their own decisions. I think about Jessica. I do not know where she is now. I do not know if she found peace. I do not know if she learned to love herself. But I hope so. Not because she deserves it, but because we all deserve a second chance. We all deserve to heal. I also think about all the women who are going through the same thing I went through. Women who are being displaced, manipulated, accused unjustly. Women who are losing their sons because of toxic daughters-in-law. Women who are crying alone in their houses wondering what they did wrong. And if any of them is listening to my story right now, I want to tell her something. You are not alone, you are not crazy, and it is not your fault. If your son or daughter pushed you away from their life, it does not mean they stop loving you. It means they are confused, manipulated, lost, but true love. A mother's love always finds the way back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. Meanwhile, you have to take care of yourself. You have to remember who you are, what you are worth, everything you did. Do not let anyone take away your dignity, your peace, your value, because you are more than a mother. You are a woman, a warrior, a survivor, and you deserve to be treated with respect. Do not seek revenge. Do not waste your time trying to prove anything to anyone. Life takes care of that. Life always takes care. People who sow lies harvest loneliness. People who manipulate end up being manipulated. People who destroy families end up destroying themselves. Not because you wish it, but because that is how the universe works. And when your son or daughter returns, because they are going to return, do not receive them with reproaches. Receive them with love, with open arms, with forgiveness. Because they are also victims of their own decisions, of their own naivety. And what they need is not an "I told you so." What they need is a hug and the certainty that they never lost your love. I look out the window. The sun is going down. The sky turns orange and pink. It is beautiful, like life, full of colors, of contrasts, of light and shadow. I get up from the couch. I go to the kitchen. I pour myself a cup of coffee and sit at the table with my old notebook. The same notebook where I wrote the recipes I was going to teach Michael. But today I am not going to write a recipe. I am going to write something more important. I write lessons I learned after 58 years. True love is not begged for. It is offered freely, or it is not offered at all. Dignity is more valuable than reason. You can be right and still lose your peace. Not everyone who accuses you is lying out of malice. Some are lying because they are afraid to face their own truth. Forgiving is not forgetting. It is remembering without it hurting. Justice delays, but it always arrives. Your value does not depend on if your son visits you or not. Your value is in who you are, in what you did, in how you loved. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply surviving and being at peace. People who really love you always return. Maybe not when you want, but when they are ready. You cannot control anyone. You can only control how you react. And the most important thing, never, ever renounce your dignity, because it is the only thing no one can take from you unless you allow it. I close the notebook and smile, because finally I understood that my story is not a story of defeat. It is a story of resistance, of unconditional love, of natural justice, and of wisdom gained with tears. That night before sleeping, I receive a message from Michael. "Mom, thanks for the food. Sophia slept all afternoon. I think your mole has magical powers. I love you. Good night." I smile. I reply, "I love you too, son. Rest well." I turn off the light. I lie down, and for the first time in years, I sleep peacefully, without fear, without anxiety, without pain, because I know I did everything I could. I loved with everything. I resisted with dignity, and I forgave with wisdom. And if there is something I would like to tell the world, to all the mothers who are suffering, to all the women who are fighting, it is this: do not give up. No matter how dark the night is, no matter how alone you feel, the light always returns. Love always wins, and you are stronger than you think. My name is Emily Miller. I am 60 years old, and this is the story I kept for so long. The story of how my daughter-in-law accused me of robbing her, of how my son abandoned me, of how I almost lost everything. But it is also the story of how I recovered my dignity, of how time proved me right, and of how love, true love, always finds the way back home. If my story helped a single woman open her eyes, if my story gave strength to a single mother not to give up, if my story showed someone that justice does exist, even if late, then everything, absolutely everything, will have been worth it. Because in the end, wounds heal, tears dry, and pain transforms into wisdom. And that is the only thing that really matters. Live, love, forgive, and move on. Always forward. Thanks for listening to me until the end. May God bless you, and may you never lose faith. Because life always finds the way to do you justice.